Jessie Richard is founder and editor of tvnewslies.org. This site has assumed a unique position among media watchdogs, working towards educating the public as opposed to fighting the behemoth corporate media. He takes the position that the establishment media have become an enemy of the people and not some legitimate press that simply needs to be fair, balanced, or less biased. tvnewslies.org clearly shows that the establishment media are not the, quote, free press as protected by our Constitution. They're a public perception management apparatus controlled by the ruling elite. According to Jessie, we don't critique the media, we expose them and try to help our readers to see the media for what they are, America's worst enemy, because of their control of public knowledge. Jessie is also a highly educated proponent of alternative 9/11 research. I'd like to introduce Jessie Richard, founder and editor of tvnewslies.org.
We are strangled by our televisions to turn to our television sets for reality. They have a stranglehold and an ownership right now on reality. There are people in this country that can be engulfed in flames, and if Sean Hannity tells them they are not, they will believe him. Okay? We're in a very dangerous state. They control virtually all of public opinion, and we have to fight this behemoth. And as Father Frank said, I choose not to fight, I choose to expose the media. You expose them, you show the public that they lie about virtually everything, and their lies will eventually become useless. Okay. A couple of keys about this campaign. Some of the key phrases with this ballot initiative to create a new investigation doesn't ring accurate. We have to launch a real investigation, a legitimate or an actual investigation. People constantly refer to the 9/11 Commission, including we in the movement. The 9/11 Commission was not tasked with investigating. They were tasked with documenting the official story. They weren't told to go and find out what happened. They were told what happened, told to get whatever information sticks to that scenario and omit everything else. That is what they have done. We cannot go to the streets and ask people to help us if we continue to compare an investigation with what took place. We have to delegitimize that, and we have to explain this to the people. People are going to ask you questions. How do you know this? How do you know these different things? Why don't I know this? When you tell them little aspects of 9/11. Okay? By the way, we talk about 50,000 different things when we're trying to debunk 9/11, the official story. Oh, and we're going through these physics and how the buildings blew up and where everybody was. Listen, there's like one or two questions you can ask. And until those questions are answered, forget everything else. Forget everything else. And I'll give you a couple of points here. Until someone explains to you exactly how NORAD stood down on the morning of September 11th, everything else is moot. Building 7, where's the vaporized planes, the phantom cell phone calls, the 19 hijack, forget it all. Until the people of this country look you in the face and tell you how NORAD, who has standard operating procedures that they practice every single day, did not follow those procedures 4 times that day. Until they can explain that, forget the rest. Stop banging your head against the wall, because what's going on here is we're going to an unsuspecting public, and they're going, all right, in a nutshell, tell me why I shouldn't believe it. They expect us to pound 7 years of information into a sentence and get them to understand what's going on. Can't be done. Ask them 1 or 2 questions. Ask them if they knew about the drills taking place that day. Read my newspaper, read my news page, click on it once a day, and then compare it to what's on TV. Okay? And then ask yourself, if you think this stuff is important enough to be discussed over here. That we start breaking it down. We start getting people to understand what they are presented with on television is not the real world. Until we break the stranglehold of this control of reality, we're really fighting a big battle here. You guys, how many people have canvassed out in the streets for us? How many people have tried to do it? Are you getting people that are just blank stared, what are you talking about? Do you get that? They're clueless. I wrote an article when the new Building 7 went up. Most of the 9/11 research community didn't even know it was up. Okay? Reality is nowhere to be found in the media. We have to completely circumvent what takes place there. The King Commission. One thing that you might be able to tell people about the King Commission, I don't hear this spoken about too often. Out of all the people that one would choose to be a director of a commission like that, maybe a project manager might be a good one, an editor, a journalist. Does anybody here know Phillip Zelikow's background in education? Does anybody know about this guy? One or two people, right? This guy has a very unique line of study, according to public information. Now, I haven't verified it, but it seems to be pretty well accepted, that one of the lines of study that Phillip Zelikow took with him into his position was in the area of the creation and maintenance of public myth. Okay, that kind of makes me nervous. If Dr. Seuss was tasked with writing the King Commission's report or being the executive director, what would you do? There are a lot of legitimate pieces of information out there that will get people to listen to what you're saying, will get people to go, huh? Stick to them. Don't go berserk. Don't overfeed them. By the time you're in the 9/11 research community, you know about everything. You know about the World Bank. You know about the Federal Reserve. You know about the scam that is United States elections. You know a lot of things. Don't freak people out. Spoon feed them. They've been living in a bubble their entire lives created by the media. Give them one thing at a time. Don't start with the 9/11 stuff. Start with something that you can touch their hearts with. Start with energy. Start with gasoline. Start with natural resources. Start with genetically modified food. Okay? I do want to say something, though, about journalism, and I want to say something about how you leave this room. To me, a journalist should graduate from a journalism institution with a few things. Complete immunity from prosecution for revealing government secrets. A badge that will give him access to government secrets. And a copy of the United States Constitution. And he or she should be told one thing. Your job is to protect that document. That's it. That is what a journalist does. A journalist is a tattletale. They're supposed to drop the news off at your doorstep, and you're not supposed to know how they feel about it. Okay? That's how you tell what a journalist is. They're not there to opine. They're not there to comment. They're not there to share an opinion. They're not there to make you feel any way. The information should take it and do its job with you. You shouldn't have to look to someone else to see how you should feel. They control how you feel. That's why I try to make people understand how dangerous the media has become. They are right now the perception management industry. They are not journalists. Journalists are there for one reason. They're the only job in this country that's protected by the Constitution, because they're there to protect the Constitution. Take it to heart. Look at those people. Don't criticize them. Get angry at them. Treat them like the enemies they are. Don't call them media. And don't call people like me or some other real journalists alternative media. We're legitimate. Okay? where the alternative to propaganda and mind control. Treat them that way. Take it to the streets. Okay?
Thank you, Jessie.